our community, our CSS community has grown like crazy. People will be at this conference from 35 states and 15 countries and more languages than I can count. This is a first for the CSS community for sure. So I'm very excited that you're all here. Over the next 3 days, we have a lot of content planned. And so there's the opening ceremonies today, which I will try to get through in the next 21 minutes. We have financial planning and trust after that, and a panel discussion for new parents, and then a social event for moms. Tomorrow we have more content. And then Sunday we will finish up and wrap up with closing ceremonies. All the time on these slides, all the times we communicate are all Eastern Daylight Time. And we just don't forget to do the math to figure it out for your own time zone. Let's see, one note is the speaker, all the videos will be recorded for later use, and just the speaker view is recorded. The gallery view, what you see of the other people is not being recorded. And so if you do speak up and the speaker view shifts to you at any point, maybe during a Q&A or a panel, you will be recorded, just be aware. And then English captions are available. And then additional languages we expect to be available post after the fact on the recordings. So I want to talk through a little bit how to make this virtual conference effective for you. We've put a little bit of thought into it. This is the first virtual conference we've done, so this is new for everybody who put it together as well. There is a chat box inside of Zoom. We'll use that for question and answers. In this specific session, you can see all the questions and answers, but in most of the sessions, only the host will be able to see the questions, or the host and the moderator will be able to see them. Don't hesitate to reach out and make connections with others you find here as you get to know them. That is really what will help build this community, help make it stronger, help make it valuable to you and your family. The Zoom is set up that this room after this session will become a lobby room for people to hang out and have small talk in. Even if you find someone you want to talk to in a smaller group, the host can put you into like a small breakout room. And then as far as behavioral management, man, I do have a kid with CSS. Any person who displays inappropriate contact will be warned once and then is kicked out of the conference on a second offense. So I know, yeah, it's just other families like us on the other end of all of this. So approach everybody with respect. And then the final one is participate, ask questions, and make the most of this for yourself. It's going to be fun. We are doing social media with this to help others connect and know what's going on. And so we have a couple hashtags to tag your post with to help others find it and browse through it. So it's hashtag CSSConf 2021 and hashtag MyCSSFam, which is one we've used for a few years now. So that is an overview of the conference. That is an overview of where we're headed for the next 3 days. I'm going to take this chance to also talk about the foundation, so you know who the foundation is, why it exists. We are 3 years old now. We became a group of parents after the 2017 conference and became a real nonprofit in early 2018. And we have helped encourage conferences the last few years. We see that as a big part of a way to achieve our mission. But we are deeply committed to growing this community and supporting this community, and that is why we exist. So I will talk some about the impacts we've had in 2021. in 2020. It was a weird year for everybody. Our planned conference ended up not happening. We were still able to support and do good things in this community. We received 39,000 in donations, and we run very lean. We are all volunteer driven, so nobody gets paid. It's all CSS parents who just spend nights and weekends investing. So 98% of those donations go directly out to families or research. Basically everything else is like a website. And so without having a conference last year, the major investment that the foundation made financially was in research. We were able to roll some of the money planned for the conference last year into this year and probably into next year. But we were able to spend 68% of our budget on research. And these were the publications that came out last year. Medical research always takes a long time. And I want to draw your attention to the top one here because it was published by, not published by, written primarily by our medical advisor, Dr. Regano. And it is the first time that the medical community has had access to growth charts specific to individuals with Coffin-Siris syndrome. And this is a deeply personal one for us because my son is, we say he's like fallen off the chart on height. He's very short. But now with this good medical data that exists now, the doctors no longer have to compare him to general pop distributions. They now understand how he is relative to other people with CSS. And this is a big deal when they think about the treatments that are necessary or how typical he is within his smaller community. I want to introduce the board of directors. We have changed a lot over since the last time I gave a talk like this 2 years ago. I didn't even give it, Benji gave it, since someone has given this talk 2 years ago. So I'm very excited to introduce Alyssa and Ryan and Shauna and Kelly. All of them are new to the board in the last 2 years. And with Benji and I coming closer to the time when we have to step away because we've designed in some term limits, I'm confident this foundation is in a really good place because of this leadership team. And I also want to thank a few other board members who, are not currently serving on the foundation. They hit their time limits and they were so critical for building what we have now. So thank you, Brian and Maria and Yari, for your work in this community and your work for the foundation specifically. But that is just the board. There's a lot of other people that provide leadership to make the foundation functional. I want to specifically highlight the self-advocacy board with Katie and Eddie. They provide leadership on goals and budgets for the year. They actively participate in conference planning. We as a board see them as the representatives of people with CSS. Like they are representatives for the whole reason we're here. And I'm really proud that that board exists and that Katie and Eddie are on it because they're really strong leaders. I also want to thank the conference planning committee. There was a lot of nights and weekends and Sunday afternoons spent planning this conference. It's the first time we've done it virtual, and there was a lot to figure out. So thank you to all of you. You invested a lot of time and energy to make this conference happen. So personally, and as a father and a board member, thank you. That is a big investment and we really appreciate it. So you may be thinking, hey, hey, this foundation's really appreciative of people who get involved. I want to get involved. So we've got a list here of possible ways to get involved, from donations to just being a human and caring about others in the Facebook group. I know for us that Facebook group was tremendously normative of having other families who understood what it meant to have a family member with CSS. That was a very big deal. And those connections, that normalization continues to be so valuable as people show up. So we count that as a tremendous service to this community. It all makes our community stronger. If you want to do more and you have skills in any of these areas, we're looking for more help. And I'll specifically call out that we could use someone with IT administration skills or experience serving on boards, because those are both areas in which I would like us to grow in. So if you want to engage and it's not listed or is listed, don't hesitate to reach out. It's really, this foundation exists because interested and motivated people signed up and said, yes, I'll do it. I will help take care of this community in this way. So don't hesitate to reach out and talk if you are interested. So on behalf of the foundation, of the planning committee, the speakers, the panelists, the long list of people who have made this possible, welcome. I'm so excited you're here. I'm so excited to get to know, I want to say all of you, but I'm time limited, to get to know some of you and to be a partner with you and to get to share life a little bit over these 3 days. And understand how your story interacts with CSS and how we can do it together. So welcome. It is, I count that a tremendous privilege. I'm very excited about what we're going to get to learn and grow together. I am going to stop sharing my screen at this point. That is the end of what I have prepared. I went through that pretty quick. So let me stop sharing. We'll just call it a few minute break between here and when the next session starts at 10 minutes. So this might be an okay time to get a drink, take a break.
Hey, before we end the opening ceremonies, can I interrupt you with one more thing?
Please.
Just a PSA for the community. One of the reasons why we were able to, one of the reasons why Dr. Vergano was able to publish that document about my English is not my friend at the moment, about the sizes, is because we have a medical registry where families can register with Dr. Vergano and do a medical consult. And this is one of those things where you will get a ton of information from Dr. Vergano. A lot of it will be just things to look out for and just basic information about CSS. But the community will gain a lot because being able to track people and being able to have information about what other people with CSS have and how it works is valuable for the research that Dr. Vergano is doing. Forgive me, I did not explain that well. Dr. Vergano will do a much better job of explaining that in her session tomorrow and on Sunday. But if you have not registered with Dr. Vergano as a community, as a board, I would encourage you to reach out and do so. And if you don't have Dr. Vergano's information, email. Shay will tell you which is the right email to send it to, but please reach out. It's a big deal, and it's an important thing for everybody to get registered with Dr. Vergano.
Yeah, thank you for remembering that, Benji. That is a good reminder. The right email is registry@Coffin-Siris.org.
Yep.
But if you send it to any of the Coffin-Siris.org, it'll get there.
And Dr. Vergano just put it in the chat. There's her email, cssregistry@chkd.org.
Perfect. That's great. That's really good. So that I actually even want to double click on that. That registry is foundational for any and all intervention research that we are looking at doing and actually investing some in this year. And so without good foundational data, we can't do, can't understand how different treatments help. So if you're not part of that, please go do the legwork to become a part of that.
Does anybody want to submit questions or ask any questions about anything that Shay just talked about, or about the conference, or about anything in general? We'd love to, we've got a few minutes and we'd love to answer any questions. I'm not sure if you can unmute. If you can't unmute, you can type it in the chat box.
I was just trying to look. How many people are we at now?
89.
We're 89. We peaked at, I believe, 92. We had at one point, some people have come in and come out.
All right.
So I also want to reiterate something that Shay said, and it was confusing the first time I heard it, and it was confusing the first time my wife Sarah heard it. So I'm going to reiterate it just to make sure everybody has it. So this link that everybody is in now is what we're calling the lobby room. This link will be open from when the first session starts now until the end of the day today, and then again tomorrow from, I believe it's noon until the end of the day, and Sunday the same thing. So at any point during the day, you can come to this link and hang out and meet people and talk to people, and we can ask each other questions and do whatever. And then the individual session links are the links that are inside the schedule. And so the link that you got, you click on that session name and it'll pull up that specific link. When that session is over, you can come back here and hang out in here. So we will have this room open so that anybody can hang out and meet and introduce yourselves. And then what Shay said about breakout rooms, if you're not familiar with Zoom, we have the ability to, if two parents want to have a conversation and don't want to talk to other people or want to have a private conversation, we can create a breakout room and let you guys go in there, and you guys can have a one-on-one or 5 people, however many people you want in that room. We can create those breakout rooms for you. So that's a pretty cool feature that we can do here with this Zoom. So yeah, thought you guys would want to know that.
Janelle says, smart setup. Yeah, and we will make sure that there is at least one person in this lobby for the whole weekend, so you don't run the risk of showing up alone.
And just to reiterate, we are trying to answer some of the questions as they come in, but if we miss something, feel free to just ping us again about the registry. Dr. Vergano is going to have 2 sessions, and they're going to be the same essentially, so that people can come depending on availability. And she says she'll answer those questions there around the registry and visits.
Matt says, are there local chapter groups across the country?
Where are you located, Matt?
Texas.
I
Go ahead, Alyssa.
I was going to say there's definitely, it's kind of it's a non-formal groupings, I think, of people around. So this is a great opportunity for people to find folks that might be close to them, and you could do meetups depending on everyone's availability and openness to meeting up at this point. So we encourage everybody to check back through if there's people that are nearby, might want to get to know and reach out to.
Yeah, we have a Pacific Northwest group that is consists of a Facebook chat thread, but it allows us to stay in touch with each other kind of in a regional basis, and then periodically, in before times, we would do meetups, like get together at somebody's house and do some brunch and share some stories in person. So there's nothing formalized, but I should say there's nothing formalized yet.
One of the things that we've done in the past is when we travel somewhere, we post it in the Coffin-Siris group and ask if anybody's going to be there. So right before COVID last year, my wife and I and daughters, we went to Milwaukee and we posted, and I think 4 families came to meet us. We just got together at a cafe, and it was really cool. So if you're traveling, post about it and see if you can meet up with other families.
And I'll just make a note that it's 2:59. So folks want to jump into the next session. That's the financial planning session. If you also want to hang out in here, I'll be in the lobby, and you guys can also stay here and chat if you guys want.